Hey guys, how are you? I've been trying to keep myself from reacting to what just happened at the recently held Oliver Mtukudzi Festival. I tried so hard, like I've been having conversations, firstly with with my wife, who has her own feelings towards the whole entire drama or issues that happened with Selmor Mtukudzi. But I thought I would talk about it because, it's been on my mind. It's been eating me up. Every time I think about it, I'm just like, I need to say something about it, Not that my voice will probably be the voice of reason, but I'll try and add my 2 cents to it. For anybody who's watching who really doesn't know who Selmor Mtukudzi is, Selmor Mtukudzi is the daughter to the late Dr. Oliver Mtukudzi, one of Zimbabwe's biggest stars. Regionally, internationally, the name Mtukudzi is well known, right? We're talking of a super mega star, something that I think Zimbabwe has never really seen. Oliver was special and still remains special. Over 50 albums that he produced, and his music has featured so many other great artists from all over the globe. He has performed on stages that so many artists in Zimbabwe can only dream of. The Oliver Mtukudzi Music Festival was the first of its kind and to be organized. And initially, Selmor Mtukudzi, daughter to Oliver Mtukudzi, was not part of the show, was not part of the lineup. Eventually, she was included in the lineup. And when she eventually took the stage, amongst other great Zimbabwean artists that also came there to commemorate Oliver Mtukudzi, she sobbed, she cried, she vented, or she rented out, or is that rented out? No. She said what she wanted to say. She thanked her fans for believing in her and wanting to see her on stage. And she did the most ludicrous thing that any artist could ever do, which is to walk away from the stage. She was given a 2-hour slot. Other artists were given a 1-hour slot. By virtue of being respected. I am wondering, as I sit here, what happened within those 2 hours that people were supposed to be jamming and listening and dancing to Selmor Mtukudzi. What happened? I don't know. You tell me. But my thoughts are probably going to hurt one or two people. But I want to say I've been thinking about this, and I have to say I really have been thinking about it. And I thought to myself, there's got to be some way. There's got to be something that a person like myself who loves music and who loves Zimbabwean music, who loves Zimbabwean artists, and thinks we have some of the greatest artists in the world, must say something about it. All right. My first thing is this: Selmor Mtukudzi does not need to be invited for anything that says Mtukudzi. By virtue of carrying that name, she has a higher percentage rate to do anything along the lines of commemorating Oliver Mtukudzi. You get what I'm saying? She doesn't need to be invited to anything. In fact, she needs to be the one inviting people to a festival, to anything that has got to do with Mtukudzi as a brand. She doesn't need to be invited. Nobody needs to write her an email. Nobody needs to ngenga her or to ask her nicely. People don't need to talk on her behalf, right? She just literally needs to grab the reins of the brand Mtukudzi and run with it, such as she saw her dad do, right? If I was a surviving member of the Oliver Mtukudzi clan, and I'm also a singer and whatever it is, I think I hold more power than anybody else who's outside, including Daisy, what stepmother. She should have thought about the idea of a festival herself or with her family, the Manatas. They should have said, let's do a festival to honor your father. They should have thought about it. They should have come up with the idea. They should have run with it, whether it's being held in Zimbabwe or in the UK. It doesn't matter. Invite all of these artists, such as the ones that we invited to this festival. And I mean, imagine just getting that invitation from Selmor Mtukudzi, surviving daughter, not the only surviving, but one of the surviving daughters of the late Oliver Mtukudzi. Just imagine, and just being invited to this festival. It would mean so much to any artist I know. But here she was being asked to come and perform. Being asked to come and perform at your father's commemoration or father's festival in his honor. And yet you are the daughter to Oliver Mtukudzi. You are a singer. You sing some of his songs. You know the people that he has worked with. You can get online with them. You can write them emails. You can invite them to come in. I thought it was going to be just like that. I thought it was going to be her thing. It could have been, I'm unsure vakaita the festival right now, but I'm just saying, and sometimes you don't need to be given a physical thing. You don't need to be given a suitcase or a car or a house. Just the name itself can get you places, can get to you an audience that a normal human being, any other person, would probably not get. So I felt like Selmor akanyorwa email, or Selmor fans were up in arms online and stuff like that. This would have not happened if Selmor had thought about this idea. Because remember, you have a brand, you have a family, you have the Mtukudzi name that needs to be upheld. You need to continue with the movement that your father started. And who is the rightful person who could probably do that? It's easy. That's Selmor Mtukudzi. That's what I think. Sometimes being spoiled or being given life on a silver platter makes for a very disastrous future for anybody. Tuku was never given anything. He was not promised anything in his life. He worked hard for everything that he has up until now. Even the awards, even the Pakare Paya, the work that he put in with all of the artists that we know right now, that we listen to. Ringo Matlingo, Zuyuma Sekela, Steve Dyer, you name it, Miriam Makeba, blah, blah, blah. He was never given anything on a silver platter. Nothing was handed to him just like that, right? There was no name that he can, talk about before he became Oliver Mtukudzi. There was nothing. It was just, there's this Oliver Mtukudzi, there's this dancer, there's this musician who sings about this and that. He worked hard for everything that he had up until the time that he died. I mean, producing 50 plus albums is not a joke, right? And I feel like just being able to wake up or to be born into a family called the Mtukudzis, and your father is a revered and very big artist in the country, you obviously or automatically think that things are supposed to be just given to you. But if Selmor wants to have a bright future in anything, granted, her popularity 50-50 is attributed to the fact that she is the daughter to Oliver Mtukudzi, and people who will naturally love her. They will naturally be inclined to listen to her rather than listen to say for example, my brother who has an album, but who is he? Which family is he coming from? Who has done something of note or great in our family, so much so that you guys can listen to him? Probably nobody, right? But with Selmor, it's automatic. So that automation almost makes her feel like she's entitled to a whole lot of stuff. No. I feel, Selmor, you need to stick to your music. You need to stick to what your dad used to do. And this is what Oliver Mtukudzi used to do. It's in his songs. We do not need a rocket scientist to come and solve the mystery of what Oliver Mtukudzi was singing about. Oliver Mtukudzi was singing about the society. He was a mirror to what black people, African people, Zimbabweans are facing on a day-to-day basis. He found a way of communicating big ideas, big things, without having to mention a name, without having to go to war with anybody. He stayed out of the media as much as he can, even though the media loved him and wrote anything about him, right? But even when he had the media, he didn't shy away from having a conversation with him. He was a man about the music. He was the music. And whatever happened in his life, I am one of those people that really, really do not want to mix what the musician and the music. I don't want to mix the two. Those two things are like oil and water. They can never mix. Because the moment you hear something about Oliver Mtukudzi, right, outside his home or whatever it is, at his home, outside the realms of music, etc., you are bound to have a negative or a positive space or a positive thought about the artist and his music. You don't have to love the messenger, but you have to fall in love with the message. That's the most important thing. And that's what Oliver Mtukudzi used to do all the times. Okay? Sing about the society. Sing about the issues that are affecting you. Sing about the issues that are affecting people that you know. Sing about, the passing on and the happiness of loved ones and stuff like that. Sing about it. Selmor, you need to do the same. And granted, I actually had not really listened to a lot of stuff from Selmor Mtukudzi. And then I one day took a long drive and I decided to open up my Spotify and I was like, okay, let me just listen to Selmor. Right? She has had some good songs. And I'm gonna tread carefully. I mean, she's had some good songs that she has produced, and some of these songs speak about, and I could tell that she's trying to address issues that she's going on in her life. That's going on in her life, right? You can almost tell when someone says, "Remember, girls, na iwo vanasikana vanodao naka, na iwo vanasikana vanodao," all of this, right? You can tell that she's addressing issues, whatever issues she's going on, and it's a good thing, but she needs to keep at it, because nothing is ever going to be handed to you on a silver platter. Oliver Mtukudzi surely did not get anything on a silver platter, right? In terms of music, music is not like that. That's why you find right now even the biggest musical family in the entire world, from Jamaica, the Malis. Not everybody who bears the name Mali is a success. Many of them have not lived up to the success that their father had. People just don't give you that success just because your name is Mali, just because your name is Mtukudzi, just because your name is Fasi, just because your name is Twala or whatever it is. You work on it, you work through it, and you work through all the things that you're going through in your life, and let music be your outlet. Let music be the place where if you have an issue, you talk about it, because I believe that's what Oliver Mtukudzi was always doing in his music. Listen to Oliver Mtukudzi's music. You find all the things that probably happened in his life in his music. I believe Selmor has some little bit of a kaku jaidzwa, like a baby, right? But you have to, at one time, just be strong and hold your own. That's what they say. Hold your own. And then this happened. Gets a 2-hour slot. She is on stage. She sobs, she cries, she exits. Stage left, stage right, doesn't matter. And I cannot I mean, I would have literally just been so frustrated if I had paid and I'm waiting for her to perform for 2 hours and then there's nothing after that. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Not even a band playing, not even people dancing. I mean, I don't know what happened, you know, but I would have been literally, I would have been livid. It is so unprofessional in so many ways. I know there are people that say, you don't know what she was feeling, you don't know what she was going through, you don't know what she's going through, blah blah blah, etc etc. But first and foremost, let's take this walk together. She had fans saying she needs to be included into the festival. She then gets a slot on the festival, very prime, 2 hour slot, right? And then decides to say whatever she wanted to say. I mean, you could have literally just said nothing, perform, and walk out. Like, just perform your music. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, and then you sing your heart out, and then you go. You decide to talk because you probably think you can handle it, and you're a talker and you can talk, right? And then you talk, and then emotions get the better out of you. Okay, you cry, you sob. Yes, maybe you could have. I feel you could have even taken 5 minutes. Okay, guys, the show will be back in a minute. Just give her time to calm down. Yes, okay. Afterwards, she's back. But guys, listen, 2 hours, and then you don't even have the audacity to face the very same fans that you were thanking a few minutes ago. The very same fans that fought for you to be on this festival, which I actually think you should not be on the festival. You should be the one running the festival. These are the very same fans that were cheering you and talking on your behalf on social media until you were invited to come and perform, and then you were given 2 hours, and then after those 2 hours, you do not perform. Come on. Chero Takanzi, I'm being heartless and angane my feelings angana now and whatever. By the time you got the invitation to come and perform, by the time you got that prime slot, right, you could have whistled your way out of any other emotion that you're feeling at that moment. Okay, calm down, Selmor. Right now is the time to show my friends that, you know what, I've got new music, or I can do this, blah blah blah. This is a drama. Okay, so fans, I thank you, blah blah blah. Or you could have said all that you wanted to say and then cry your heart out after you've performed 2 hours. You know what I think? Someone probably couldn't perform 2 hours. Probably could not perform 2 hours. Okay, her material, she has material that can last for 2 hours, but maybe she was ill prepared, or what? Maybe she felt, let me just hit them where it's hard and not perform at all. Nungo ita drama because guess what? I don't think anybody is inviting her anyway at this moment with that sort of attitude. Nobody's gonna be like, okay, we do have here a representation of Oliver Mtukudzi alive, and no, nobody's gonna give it. I would certainly not give you time to go on any stage to perform. I mean, come on. We know of performers that just go on stage if they want to do their business. They will go on stage, and then after that, they will talk about whatever issue. Or in the middle, you can even say something. The band was playing. I saw the video. The band was playing. You could have just sang something. At least sing 5 good ones that you have. But maybe what? You didn't have very good material that could be at par with other artists that were there, because lineup yangeri pa Mtukudzi festival yangesiri lineup yona asikagona kuimba. I want to be honest. Yangesiri lineup yona asikagona kuimba, yangesiri lineup yona ntazokutamba in the music itself. And these are people that were serious in trying to commemorate a name that we know is so loved within Zimbabwe. Selmor did unthinkable. Just walk out, leave people hanging for 2 hours, and say absolutely nothing afterwards. That's not professional at all. Family feud aside, emotions aside, all you have to do was just to sing. And even if you are allocated a few minutes of your time to talk about what has been transpiring within your life, you could have done that at the end. And then perform for people who have come here So what now? The end is this. You have desecrated the name of Mtukudzi. Mtukudzi was not as weak. Mtukudzi was not as emotional, and he was level-headed. Let's be honest. Whatever Mtukudzi did, I don't care what people have been saying. Mtukudzi failed to deal with these issues before, and akatadza kuunza mwana akazodi, you know, that's water under the bridge. The image that we have of Oliver Mtukudzi is of an artist who made 50 plus albums, celebrated internationally through music. Zvekuti akazorora munhu akachata munhu akazodi akatadza kuunza the family together and blah blah blah, you know, we all fail. We're not 100%. Nobody is perfect. He, without sin, let him cast the first stone. But Mtukudzi is not an angel. He's not a god. Otherwise, you couldn't have died. You wouldn't have died. He is a human being. But at the end of the day, he left a legacy, which I think Selmor must grab with her two hands and run with. I'm a festival in commemoration your father. They were even thinking of leaving you. How ridiculous does that sound? They didn't see you, or they could not see eye to eye. Okay, you can say maybe this wasn't the wrong or whatever it is, and she was part and parcel of probably the wrong festival and felt like any drama too much and stuff like that. I certainly feel like anybody who's sitting there, if you were an artist worth her salt, somebody would have said, Mara, let me be the one who takes the blame if she comes and does drama. But music, people will dance that night away. And that festival will be, right now, what we have is just a drama-filled event or a drama-filled show yake. Ndiwe mwana wacho wa Mtukudzi, parokommemoratwa kwa Mtukudzi, and then you don't do anything other than just to cry, talk and cry and leave. I felt like that was so wrong on so many levels. So wrong on so many levels. Could have been a costly thing to the festival organizers. If people had said, 2 hours, Ashiti, we came here, we paid, we wanted a full compliment of the artists that we saw on the lineup. One didn't, nothing, and we want a part reimbursement of the monies that we paid for. It could have happened in other festivals and in other countries. People will do that. That's why it's important when festival organizers are going through the paces and trying to find out who is coming. They know for sure that Ningi is coming and is performed. He has given us his full and he comes and then you perform. And it was a chance where she needed to solidify herself as a top performer. You're performing alongside other greats like Japresas, other female musicians like Tabi Moyo. It was your chance to just say, Nenyo Ndakapenga. Not only Nenyo Ndakapenga, but I love the man who we're commemorating. I have his DNA of performance within me, and I'll sing the songs that you love to hear, or the songs that are going to tell my story, even though I don't have a platform, or my platform, I don't know. You could have just literally said, this is the time that people will see me for who I am. I am Selmor Mtukudzi. I am a daughter of Oliver Mtukudzi the Great. And I will sing my heart out, and I'll let people know the issues that are happening in my life or in the world through music. Because that's what Oliver Mtukudzi did. saka whether my feelings angazomkurira angaita sese, that's beyond professional artistry. That's beyond being a professional artist. Everybody knows if you're a professional, you stick to being professional. Ndisaka kana uri a board member or even a CEO or COO, whatever it is, right? When push comes to shove, you leave the emotions aside and the professionalism comes out. That is the first thing that people are supposed to be like, okay, yeah, Apapaitas is a professional, right? You leave everything behind and then you put the goal or the objective in front and you say, isn't those are tweet analysis to kuimba nasi mangwana tozodila nenyaya dzekwamtukudzi, whether or not I have been permitted to be on this stage, papakare paya, etc. Right now, chowari chirimo ndechekuti another festival yekwamtukudzi, nobody's going to speak on behalf of Selmor. It will be disrespectful to the people that were there even in the first place to see her name there again over what is on all right. Takwenda tonoona kuti nhasi anoburuka futi iri pastage etc. No, guys, I've sense zvidaro and I feel like you did people wrong. Selmor, wherever you are, you need to come and tell people exactly what you think you ought to do to gain back their trust and to gain back the level of professionalism that we've been expecting from the Mtukudzi clan and the Mtukudzi people. All the same, I wanted to say that was a great idea. Honoring a living a legend such as Oliver Mtukudzi. That was a really, really brilliant idea. I wish it can, translate to all the other legends that we have had in the country. Kids nowadays will grow up not knowing Bundu Boys. They'll grow up not knowing Simon Chimbetu. They'll probably grow up not knowing, Leonard Dembo, James Chimombe, etc. Right? Zex Manata. Right? I think we naturally need to have some sort of cultivation of this very same great music and artistry, so much so that it remains a very good, or it keeps us in check, or it keeps us, I'm gonna say it like we just constantly need to have more and more of these so that we don't forget where we're coming from. Our history is as important as anybody else's history. And I feel like we've not been paying attention to it. We've just been paying attention to the now and to the future and what it might bring. But kudos to the organizers of the Mtukudzi Festival. I think it was a brilliant idea. And I think going forward, you will obviously find ways of dealing with, issues such as these ones, that you met. But it would be nice to see a James Chimombe festival as well. It would be nice to see just, artists that are continuously working on the artistry and the music that our legends and our icons were working on back in the day. When I was reading the Herald, it was nice to see or to read that, there were Mbuya Stella Chiwesha's daughter was there. It was also nice to hear vana vekwamtukudzi, they were also there. It's important that we keep this legacy within our country, because nobody else is going to speak about our history the way we want it to be spoken. Filmmakers, it's about time we research and work on issues, not on issues, but on our icons' lives. We must tell that story of Oliver Mtukudzi, just as they've told the story of Bob Marley, just as they've told the story of Nelson Mandela, just as they've told the story of Miles Davis or whoever, or Michael Jackson, all of these other, icons. We need to keep, because nobody else is going to do that for us. We need to start doing that. We need to start collecting information. We need to start filming. We need to start shooting. We need to start writing And I tell you what, it is a noble idea, but maybe it needs somebody out there who's just willing to say, okay, I'm gonna do it. That's all I had to say.